Welcome to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. If you would like to support this channel, please hit the like button and consider subscribing if you enjoy the content. And now, let's start with the first story. It's called No Overtime. My work, aviation, was on a no overtime at all rut for a while in 2021. No biggie to most of us. But the bosses were strict with every single minute, because the higher ups were watching the time charging as well to make sure no overtime was being clocked. I got a new job within my company, requiring me to move. I was working the second shift at the time, so when I'd get to work and answer all the HR emails, I would be behind on the checklist I'd have to complete prior to moving. So I did the logical thing, emailed my then supervisor and asked to be transferred to the day shift so I could be in the building during the daytime to talk to HR. Otherwise, I was going to miss my transfer date. My supervisor emails me back and said, "You have a company laptop now, answer those emails from your house. I'm not swapping you to the day shift." I responded, "Okay." So I began my day at 9 so I could email and team chat with various HR reps and then go to work in the afternoon. I logged every minute, and being that I had a company laptop, I know they can see my login activity, so I would have a backup if they tried to claim I was stealing time. Fast forward a week, and the site manager, supervisor's boss, pulls me into his office. He wants to know why I have almost 20 hours of overtime for the previous week when we aren't allowed any overtime. I explained to him I was given permission from the supervisor. The site manager calls the supervisor in. Supervisor says he gave no such permission. I tell them both about the email response and offer to send it to them and print it up should they need it. My supervisor got as red as a fire truck. Site manager said your overtime is approved and kicked me out of the office, asking me to close the door as I left. I received a text message 2 hours later informing me I was to start the day shift immediately. The next story is called Phantom Write-Ups. I was working as a low-level security supervisor at a hotel that had a nightclub on site. I had some serious problems with the bar manager, who the staff had given the nickname of Miss Piggy. She was known to drink on the job, give away food and drinks, and was a constant pain because I did my job. During the week, the bar area was empty, so it was usually me and 2 other guards who worked the site. This night was no different, but Miss Piggy was in one of her moods. She had caught one of my guards on the cell phone while sitting down at a table in the empty bar area. Miss Piggy storms over and demands I write up this guard. While I have had my problems with her, she was right about the guard being on his phone. I go to my bag and I pull out 2 write-up forms and 2 pens. I give a form and a pen to the guard and tell him that he has to write himself up and I am going to do the same and they better match. We separately work on the write-ups and in about 5 minutes he comes to get me where I am on a break. We trade write-ups and begin to talk. I notice his write-up was a lot worse than the one I wrote up. I asked, "What do you think would happen if I happened to send him in?" "I would get fired." I flipped back that Miss Piggy caught you and demanded you be written up. "Would you agree that you got written up?" "Yeah, this is the write-up you did for me." "I understand that this is a boring night, but you need to at least look like you are watching things." I hand him back his write-up and tell him, "If I catch you doing this again, I'm going to have to send this into the office for them to decide what happens. I will have no choice in the matter. If you need a break or a change of scenery, just let me know, and I will try to make it happen." Come to find out later that the guard turned down Miss Piggy, so she wanted him off the site and fired. I did write him up, I just never sent it in. This became known as my Phantom Write-Up, as a way to warn guards without involving management oversight. I placed it a step or 2 above the verbal warning, but below an official write-up. Turns out that upper management absolutely loved the concept of it, as if I had to send in a write-up, the one written by the offender was a signed confession. The last story is called Should Have Listened. My employer is a major international player. I work for the national branch of a company in my country. Being employed here for 7 years now, and I love the work and my co-workers. I went from operator to instructor to my current position of shift lead. Basically, besides normal operator work, I make sure everyone can do their job, and if not, I troubleshoot. The employer is a large company with 10k plus workers nationally and globally way more. Cold and distant. I work in an environment with around 55 coworkers in various shifts that complement each other, designed to keep things running smoothly 24/7, all day, every day. The planner gives you your shift 5 weeks in advance, which are set in stone so people can plan their social life accordingly. There are peaks every day, which means a better populated shift is necessary. Currently, like most of the world, there's a worker shortage or a shortage of good employees. Whatever way you look at it, I should be having 80 co-workers instead of 55. This should give you an impression of how understaffed and overworked we are. If I get sick or leave, there will be no replacement, and entire shifts will become leaderless, and if a problem occurs, nobody is there to solve it. The department I work in is supported by around the same number of staff, like administrator, technical, IT, etc. that works 5 days a week from 8:30 till 17, no weekends, no holidays. Now, this 24/7 environment is really destroying my social life and has me feeling like I live to work instead of working to live. So recently, I decided enough is enough. Time for a change. My expertise would come in handy at one of our supporting departments, so I applied there. Got rejected, but a really great manager took notice and sat me down. Together, we spoke about my expertise, and we wrote a job profile that would enhance the supporting department collaboration with the 24/7 environment. Start date 4 months from that conversation, because my experience and hours are not that easily replaced in the 24/7 environment due to the above-mentioned situation. My current manager and planner agreed to the start date. Furthermore, I agreed to still help out during office hours, because I can't leave my former co-workers out to dry. Agreed was that this will not interfere with my new job and its requirements. I will train a replacement as well. And here is where the malicious compliance comes in. 5 weeks prior to my starting date, still nothing has been talked about. I see in our planning app that in the week after my starting date, I've been scheduled in the schedule as if I was still shift lead. Must be a mistake, right? I go up to my planner with this mistake, and he tells me he has been planning my shifts because he hasn't heard anything new. After a short discussion, he tells me it's not set in stone, and that at a later date we will discuss how we will incorporate these shifts with my new job. Big fat chance, buddy. Oh, and where's my replacement so I can train him? Answer: what replacement? 3 more weeks passed, and 3 more weeks worth of my shifts have been scheduled past my starting date. Talked to my current manager and planner about me not being able to work those shifts due to my new job at the company. Also pointed out everything we agreed upon. They said that they can take me out of the schedule and we'll have to figure it out as we go. And I quote, "When the start date is due, we can talk about how you will manage it." They fully expect me to work both jobs until the worker shortage resolves itself. Again, a quote from the manager. How about you stop being difficult? Keep your mouth shut and work with it, or it could affect your new job. That one hurt and honestly made me desperate. 7 years to get that shoved in your face. I know my leaving is a problem, but I was forthcoming and willing to still help out, train my replacement, 2 months of the delayed start date, etc. At this point, I believe I'm living in a different reality. In what world is all the above a good idea when I have everything in writing and you still haven't done anything to replace me or my hours? I am not about to let my new job suffer due to this idiocracy. At this point, I'm living with the dilemma of quitting both jobs and finding a new one, or suffering this situation for a while since I have this perfect job waiting for me. So I start job hunting to keep my sanity. I also started getting all the paperwork ready for my malicious compliance. Agreements that were written, confirmed, signed via email, etc. Like, this is what we agreed and signed, not 2 full-time jobs. I received my contract shortly after. I see it listed with a different company. You know how it is with huge companies and different entities within that company. After some digging, I find out that it certainly isn't the same holding as I'm working with now. I questioned my new manager about this, and our supporting departments are under a different holding than our 24/7 departments for tax benefits. Basically, on paper, I'm getting a new employer. The planner and the old manager haven't accounted for this. It means that when the contract starts, the other one is void. All these scheduled shifts past the starting date of the new contract are contributed by a shift lead that is working at a different company. I'll keep my mouth shut. Idiots. I fully well realized that the 24/7 department and the supporting departments would be hurting if I decided not to work a single shift after my start date. I love the work and my co-workers, so I won't drop them in the crap completely. I still wanted the people that failed my co-workers to feel the fruits of their not executed labor. So at the start date, I got a call from the old manager while sitting beside my new manager. Perfect. Why the heck wasn't I doing my shift that started at 6? I explained everything and suggested we meet right away and figure something out. So I, the planner, and both managers sat down. The meeting went through the following stages: anger, more anger, subsided anger, cries for help, tears of sweet despair. Eventually, we agreed on 4 days per week and 3 days per week at the new job, with 1 and 2 days at the old job every other week. Besides that, I would make a plan on how they should go about training my replacement and what info they need. Also, I work an entire 4-day night shift that I actually enjoy and fits into my private life. The past few shifts at the 24/7 department that I was planned for have been a crap show of major problems that nobody was there to tackle. Corporate has been the perfect partner. On day 2 of my not work scheduled shift, a fallout occurred and lasted 3 hours longer than necessary. Cost them a lot of money. They are livid. My reward? A jar full of salty tears of despair. Whispers about some very angry CEO targeted at my old manager. A lovely new job. And for the time being, the best combo of both jobs. Everything came together perfectly. The company, being extremely large, saved my career. And with that, we end today's video. Let me know what you think about the stories. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the stories and today's video? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like what I do and want to support me, please subscribe and hit the like button. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe. Bye bye.